I'm Erin Brindley. I am the co-artistic director and chef at Nordo in Seattle. We are dedicated to bringing you environmental, beautiful, theatrical events featuring imaginative cuisine and live music. And at the moment, I am in my apartment, as most of you are as well. And so, instead of giving you our amazing theatrical culinary events, me and my cat Ethel are gonna teach you some cooking basics. This is for basics. So thank you for tuning in, and we do hope we see you when all of this is over in our natural habitat, which is a beautiful theater down in Pioneer Square in Seattle. Speaking of which, I want to thank a few people who are going to make sure that we are open when the pandemic coronavirus is over, or at least over enough that we can all gather again around a table for some beautiful theater. And these names I'm going to come at you with aren't everybody, but a few of the people who have contributed to make sure that our nonprofit arts organization is thriving at the end. So that will be Susan Bannon. Thank you so much, Susan. David Fandel, Rachel Gross, who I've known since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. Thank you so much, Rachel. Kristen Holch, Kristen Huntley, Amy Poisson, Lainey Bertino, and Nicole Harris. We miss you. Are you back? Ben and David, amazing members of the Pioneer Square community. Helen Pogorski, VIP around here, and Jennifer Dittrich. So thank you so much, and on to the cooking. So we're gonna do chicken stock today. We did roast chicken before in our last basics course. We're doing chicken stock. Anybody can do this with your leftover chicken, even if you didn't roast your own chicken. Rotisserie chicken, take the bones, put them in the freezer when you're done, and then when you have a day where you're not doing much, which a lot of us have right now, go ahead and put some chicken stock on. The active time isn't that much, but it does take quite a bit of time just hanging out and getting delicious. So we're gonna start with vegetables again, just like we did the roast chicken, only this time it really does not matter how they're cut up. So big old hunks, celery, onion, carrot, that's just kind of basics. You can put garlic in there too. We're gonna do roasted vegetables. So you could just take all these vegetables, take these chicken bones, put some salt, bay leaf, any herbs you've got around, peppercorns, throw them in a pot, or throw them in your Instant Pot. In a pot, just leave them for hours and hours and hours on a low simmer. In your Instant Pot, just do like an hour of full pressure and then let it go. And then you've pretty much got delicious stock. Don't get me wrong. This, no, oh my God. This is all gonna go in the oven. We're gonna put a little olive oil on here. So someone watched my roast chicken video and they were like, everything was great except for when she said to use her hands. Some people are not into using their hands for cooking. I personally am, because I prefer to wash my hands and wash dishes. But it's up to you. If you're one of those people who just does not like your hands sticky, a spoon is gonna work fine. But for me, tongs that God gave me. So I'm just gonna toss those up with some salt, and then I'm gonna pour them out onto my sheet pan. I put a parchment here because, again, I don't like doing dishes. I'm so lazy in that way. So I just put a parchment so it wouldn't get my sheet pan all gross. My oven is at 450 right now, and then I'm just gonna plop these chicken bones. These are 2 chickens worth. 1 chicken's worth is fine. The more chicken that's left on there, I didn't like super pick this because I knew I wanted to make stock, so I kind of easy picked it, so even the wings still have all their meat on them. The more meat that's on there, the more stocky it's gonna get, but the bones have so much flavor in them, so don't worry about that too much. Just gonna give my hands a little rinse, salt it, and then put it in the oven. So once again, dry fingers are easier, a little salt on there. That's where the flavor comes from. It's not to make it taste like salt, it's to make it taste like chicken. So that's just gonna go in there for like 30 to 40 minutes. Just trying to get a little brown on there. So I'm gonna set the timer, 30 minutes. We'll see you then. See you in a minute. Here we go. So you see the bones have gotten nice and brown and yummy, and the vegetables too. And because it's all on a parchment, I should just be able to lift up and put it right in here. So I'm doing this in the pressure cooker today because a lot of you have them. Instant Pot it is. Pressure cooker is the same basically, only it's on the stove. This would also work in your slow cooker or in a nice big pot, stock pot on your stove, your Le Creuset, or whatever it may be. If it's on the stove, you just put it on a low simmer. So I like to think of a low simmer as like a hot tub that's off. So just a few little bubbles coming up, and put that there for like 6 hours on that nice low simmer. So you can start by bringing it to a boil, then lower it down so you just have little bubbles, bloop, 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 and your house will smell amazing. I have even done it overnight. If you have a lot of liquid in there, you can do that. But just to get yourself comfortable with it, take a Sunday, put it on at the beginning of the day, and then your whole house will just fill with the yummy aromas, and that's almost more fun than doing it in the Instant Pot because the Instant Pot is so fast. So we're just gonna put it in Instant Pot for about an hour, like I said, and then let it do the natural release. Some thyme, some celery. There are also some, celery leaves hiding here, and parsley. I've got celery leaves and parsley, which look the same. I like celery leaves, they add a fun little taste. A lot of peppercorns and some bay leaf, and I'm just gonna pop that right into there. Just gonna do a nice big salt. There we go, so you can see, we've just got the bones all covered up in there. Sinking my battleships again. Yeah, so lock it up, give it an hour, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, it smells amazing in here. It's like a chickeny dream. So we let this thing come up to pressure. It was on pressure for an hour, and then we let it naturally release. Or if you did this on the stove, you just let it boobled and boobled and boobled and boobled for like hours and hours. 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. Hours are not gonna hurt this thing. As long as you keep it on low and you make sure there's still liquid in there, you're gonna be good to go. So we're gonna give this a taste first. It's got a beautiful brown color that comes from the roasting of the vegetables. Remember, brown is delicious. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to taste like. So I'm just gonna scoop it into a strainer to get all the big chunky bits out of here. And then we'll give it a press with a spoon. That's everything in there. Give it a smush. That just makes sure that all that delicious golden goodness is all in the pot and not in your compost. So here's your chicken stock. The first thing I would do is actually let this cool down. There's gonna be a layer on top that's just like a fat layer. And then once it's cold in the fridge, you can just remove that. Now, I'll tell you, this is not gonna be like the kind of Swanson's chicken stock you buy in a container that pours. This is like jelly. So it's like a bone broth. All that collagen has gotten into your stock. It's much more flavorful. It's really, really good for you. So you can freeze it. You can use it right away. You can just throw some vegetables and some chicken and some noodles in there, and then you got the best chicken noodle soup of your life. You could put it in an ice cube tray, freeze it in little ice cubes. Once they're frozen, throw them in a Ziploc bag, and then you can just kind of add them to sauces and things like that, make it delicious. You can cook rice in it. Basically anything that calls for chicken stock, chicken base, bone broth, this is what all that is. And enjoy, and congratulations! You figured out what to do with the chicken 2 different ways. Very exciting, and maybe next time we'll make a soup. Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much for watching. I'm here to tell you a little bit about Nordo. We are a nonprofit arts organization based in Seattle, Washington, dedicated to bringing you an intimate theatrical experience that weaves in imaginative cuisine and live original music. If you're watching during the COVID-19 crisis and you want to make sure our doors are open when all this is over so you can come and experience one of our incredible events, please consider donating. You can find more information and a link to donate at cafenordo.com. Stay in, stay well, and stay inspired. Thank you.